Hey there, Dream Chasers. This is Hannah Pryde, and welcome to Pryde Shine, the podcast where we explore the innovators and influencers of Dubai. Proudly sponsored by Pryde Migration, your dedicated partner to make Dubai your reality. So, welcome to the show, Calum White, founder of White & Co and now a serial entrepreneur in Dubai. Let's get started. How have you built such an empire in the last 4 years?
What a nice opening. Thank you so much. No, and I obviously really appreciate being here. I think something that's just been very important as far as my success is the adaptability and able to shift and move. All the businesses under the White & Co group are all solely owned by myself. There are partners and there are profit shares in there, but I'm the majority decision maker in all of them. And, I just think that in this market, the pace that Dubai works at, not just Dubai real estate, but all the different facets, you have to be able to just change things as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you'll miss out.
You miss the mark. And do you know what? It's something that a lot of people, when I help them set up businesses, I say you have to move fast in Dubai. And it'll be interesting, I think, in the next 5 years when you have to start slowing down because the regulation will be harder. I mean, when you set up White & Co, I'm sure it probably took you 10 days to get a trade license. You're bashing out visas as fast as they're coming in.
When we opened the trade license during COVID, they might as well have paid me. They just wanted people to open a business. It was really easy and really quick. And obviously this is something way more down your side, but opening businesses and stuff, they will make it harder because now so many businesses are moving to Dubai. The commercial space is all getting full. Yeah. It's going to become a lot harder to just come over here and just go opening up.
Well, going from what my expertise, last year there was just under 1.3 million businesses registered in Dubai. And to put that into perspective, in 2021 there was less than 600,000. So in 4 years, it's more than doubled. And another mad fact is there's only 30,000 commercial spaces in Dubai with only 2,000 handed over before 2029. And now, when you look at that and you think of all the opportunity in Dubai, and the reason you have to be fast is because there's 40,000, I think, real estate brokers, 40,000 real estate companies, and 0.5% of the population are seen as real estate brokers. Yeah. That's why you need to be fast. Yeah. There's no other reason.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, seen as real estate brokers is the key there. I mean, obviously, out of the market, out of all those people, maybe 5% to 10% actually know what they're doing, but it doesn't make it any easier for the average customer or the average consumer client to differentiate who knows what they're doing. And that's where good businesses that are out there are, training people properly, creating value, and making things better for the market, which is good to see.
I mean, what have you seen in the past 4 years as the biggest shift within your brokerage? Obviously you're seen as the fastest growing real estate brokerage in Dubai, which hats off to you, amazing. And as we've discussed before, it's probably because of the fast decision making, being like, we've done it good, we've done it bad, let's just keep going. But what have you seen as the biggest change from hiring all these people?
Yeah, so in the beginning, very simply, year one when I opened the business, we were the first agency in Dubai, no doubt in my mind, that offered 70%. So the first one that was like, you can come in and it's not some trick, it's very simply 70%, you move your way up through the tiers, but once you're there, that's how it works. And I thought, oh my God, I'm opening a brokerage for the brokers, it's going to be 70% commission, they're working with someone who's not, too far away from the brokerage. I just stopped being a broker. So I was like, I still understand how it works, I'm going to find it really easy to hire people. Yeah. And year one, the honest part is we just threw a lot of shit at the wall. And some of that shit is now unbelievable gold that's still with us. Yeah. But everyone, when we start in real estate, no one really knows what they're doing. You've got to find your way, you've got to learn. And we tried to take whatever we could as serious as possible. Year two, it became easier to hire. It became 50% throw it at the wall, 50% selective. Yeah. Year three, it became way more selective. And now, obviously, we receive, for every 300 CVs we might receive, maybe only 20 to 30 people get in the door per month. And that is a massive amount of recruitment, 20 to 30 people. We don't recruit in November, we don't recruit in December, and then around about, between that 20 and 30 is our sweet spot of number.
Of course. And obviously 20 to 30 people is huge to be hiring in every month. And what would you say the turnover of staff per month for that hiring? Who actually lasts 6 months?
Oh, absolutely. So I would say that when a broker joins us, so let's just say 10 people, okay, out of 10, you're going to have 2.5 that are going to do quite well. Yeah. You're going to have 5 of them that are going to do average, and our entire job is just pushing them to eventually become one of those top ones,
Yeah.
and you're going to have 2.5, which unfortunately the nature of the business goes through the washing machine, which either means they leave the business or we just continue trying to train them and get them better. The hard part about Dubai real estate is it is commission only.
I know.
So you don't have this option just to sit there and collect a salary for a year, 2 years, 3 years while you hate your job. If you're not good at it, or if some companies don't have the training or things like that, you're not going to last and you're going to have to leave. And it's fine, as these things happen, not everyone likes every job. Do you know that the average tenure at Google is only 1 year?
It's crazy.
You know, and you couldn't say Google's not successful,
Yeah.
you know. So the point is it's sometimes it's just not right for everyone. But what I would say is, out of every 10 people, you're going to see 2.5 of them out the door in the first year.
Yeah.
Then you're going to see maybe 5 of them that, you know, average to good. And sometimes that average might go to other companies, and that's okay. Maybe White & Co wasn't right for them. Maybe they want to go somewhere else. That's okay. And then you're going to have 2.5 that really take it to the next level. But what I have seen is that if you last with White & Co for over 3 years, your average billable per month will 100% be 173,000 per month.
That's amazing.
So I can guarantee you that, you know, that's what you're going to make per month based on our average figures
Yeah.
if you've been with White & Co for 3 years.
And to put that into perspective for our UK listeners, that's about £37,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
correct. And
A
that's-
month.
Yeah, a month. So think of that in a year. That's most people's average salary in the UK when they've got to the highest ranks after tax, which is wild. But a lot of people don't understand. Obviously, we were speaking about before now, when you are hiring people, you do offer them a salary now. It's mandatory in Dubai, which never used to be a thing. But obviously that salary is still so minor. I mean, for you, it's a big, it's a big hit.
It's a big hit. So there's a new legislation that came in, and actually it came in about 6 months ago, but now it's becoming a bit more strict. Like the Department of Labour has found, like, looking at it and checking it now, and it's good because it's actually making it so that everyone's following the same script. But basically, we have to pay every person in the business a minimum of 1,500 dirham. It's only £300, but when there's 300 brokers times 1,500 dirham, that's 450,000 dirham every single month. That
£1,000.
which is £800,000, which has to go out the door. Now the good thing is, for anyone that's billed, it's no problem. But you do have people that are sitting there, aren't performing, aren't going to go far, and it is just taking up an overhead. But that's part of the risk, you know. So is getting a visa for someone. So is investing in market. And at the end of the day, you've got to give people all the tools possible. And I always think, like, there are people that come in and you go, wow, we know this person's going to be good.
Yeah.
But I've also had people join the business from Foxtons, and you think this person's going to be amazing, but now because they don't have the brand name to hide behind. Like, the big difference between the UK and Dubai, people come to you to sell your property. It's not about the company. I certainly don't think so. In my company, they phone the broker and they go, I want to work with you. Mm-hmm. They phone this person and say, I want to work with you. Doesn't matter if you work at White & Co, Allsop, you name it, whoever else is out there. It's the broker that really has the brand, I think.
And this is where I think everyone in Dubai really needs to focus on building their personal brand and giving themselves a unique selling point, especially within the real estate side. Because if you're just like, let's say for me, when I do my off plan, the reason I fell into that was I was helping business owners moving to Dubai. They can't get mortgage, or they can, but it's 10% plus. Like, it's outrageous. That at that point it was Hannah and business setup, which sells off plan. Now it's probably more podcast and off plan, I would say. But people that are just off plan, or people that are just secondary brokers with not a second part to them, they've all lost within this real estate. Because who are you to differentiate yourself to compare to all these thousands of people that are brokers?
Definitely. We call that in our business, I call it single channel risk. Mm-hmm. So if all your leads are just coming from one channel, example, let's say today Bayut and Property Finder, not that they will, but let's say they disappeared. You now have no business. Every person in some companies is gone.
Yeah.
Whereas the people that become synonymous with their area, as example in my business, Blue Waters J, Dubai Jord when it comes to 1 PAM, Gina when it comes to 1 PAM, Wummy when it comes to 5, so on and so forth. Many brokers at many different businesses that are synonymous with their areas. You think of that area, you think of that broker. If you're not creating that sort of thing, then God forbid you ever go out by yourself or anything like that happens, and it can be tough. It can be really tough.
Do you know what? It's probably one of the hardest parts of being a broker, because you can get... It's not like in the UK when if someone's looking for a property, they've inquired and it's an inbound inquiry. A lot of the time people are put to a phone doing call-outs every single day. And when you build a brand, I personally don't think you should stop the call-outs. I think it's really good training, and I think it's really good just to get on the phone to maybe new connections. However, if you're only doing the call-outs or you're only using Bayou, I personally think the Dubai real estate market will go very Americanized in the next few years. It's just going that way. And in America, it's very strict, it's very cutthroat, and it's very fucking hard to get a deal over the line. And I personally think, I say it to everyone in every business, whether I've got such a bad throat today. Whether you're a real estate broker, whether you're in any sale job, you need to become a different person. It shouldn't just be your job.
Yeah.
Because when you become really boring.
Yeah.
If you're sitting at a table and all you're speaking about is your work, that is the most boring person. Or if you're sitting with a client that's looking for the most luxurious house or investment, and all you're doing is telling them about the investment, and you can't have that common ground, small chat, to keep the conversation exciting, to keep them remembering you, they'll still just go to someone else.
It's that easiest part of sales is building rapport. That's the first thing you want to do with anyone, and I think that this market now is becoming more and more aimed at people who are building a network. And see the people, like, I was very bad for it when I was a broker in the beginning. I was what we call a hunter. I just wanted to do deals, make money, on to the next one, do deals, make money, on to the next one. And then now I see the brokers in our company, a lot of them are the perfect combination now of a farmer hunter. Yeah. So, they're growing their crop, they're making sure it's going to be good for next season, for harvest, but also they know when to close, which is that hunter mentality when you know what you need to do to close that off. But the important part, if something goes wrong, don't hide from the phone call. Answer the phone and help them. People don't mind being told bad news. People mind having no information.
Of course.
And it's
the fear of the unknown.
Of course, that's it. And I think that that's the way this market needs to go. And I genuinely believe that the strong agencies in the market, they will do well because the brokers there will build relationships. They will stay in touch. And I think that will happen. But there's so many out there that are just there for one deal. And, that'll take its time. Like you said, there's 40,000 brokers. So we're going to have to whittle them down eventually.
Jen, I don't even think it's brokers. It's 40,000 real estate brokerages that have been established.
Oh, okay.
So think of how many brokers. It says it's 0.5% of the population. I think we're sitting at about 3 million-ish in Dubai, so think how much that is. There's hundreds of thousands of brokers. It's absolutely wild. And the main thing is now, see when people are farming their crops, in the past when you were a broker, and obviously I don't know how much you broker now, a lot of the people you were probably selling to didn't really care about their home or the investment. They were just flying in and out. It was spare cash, let's just diversify the portfolio. Now people are really planting the seeds to live here and not leave. So if you sell them a bad investment, that's your name ruined. Yeah,
that's your reputation.
It's your name ruined. And I also think as well is a lot of these agents are just hunter now are putting clients in. They're mis-selling. It's like the mis-selling of PPI.
Definitely.
You'll be able to sell it in 6 months, and then you hear these clients up shit creek, and you're like, oh my god, I feel so sorry for them. And that's why now I think it's very important. It's a great analogy you've used, the farming, the growing, and the hunting, because it's what everyone needs to really nurture.
It's two things on that. First of all, since the business opened, I've not brokered once since the moment we opened. But you see people, example, Rack, perfect example. Everyone's jumped on that train. Some of the projects there are phenomenal. Yeah. Some of the projects there are trying to now sell for 3,000 per square foot, which is the same price as some properties on the Palm Jumeirah.
Can I just say right now, and I've had this debate with so many people in the office, I loved Rack at the start. I still love Rack, and I still think there's absolutely fantastic opportunities on that island. However, them stating that it's going to reach 10,000 a square foot, the Lana Dorchester, which is a global brand, overlooking the Burj Khalifa, transacts on average 8,000 to 9,000, pushing 10,000 a square foot. Why on earth will the Wynn Casino
make that jump
to 10,000? I'm like, use your head, be economics, think of what the economics of the world is, and be what's the word I'm looking for? Actually have common sense. It's not. In the past, I think anyone that is looking at Rack as an investment conservatively calculate that it could reach 4,500. It might potentially reach 6,000, 7,000. I'm not saying it isn't, but to be fair to your investor, only ever calculate to 4,500.
To be a new developer doing their first project in Rack when you've never done another project in the UAE and selling at 3,000 per square foot, that's what I'm saying. Stay away from. But there will be people jumping on that and trying to pitch that to investors, and it's those people that unfortunately might lose out, or they won't get the return that they expect, and then that'll leave a bad taste in their mouth about Dubai real estate. But then that's where the good companies and good brokers will be there to pick up the pieces and hopefully educate them in the future. Sometimes people used to phone me when I was a broker, and they'd tell me they bought something. I went, who told you to buy this? What are you doing? And it was just, it was wild. But I think people are far more educated now. I think there's far more information. It's a way more transparent market than it used to be.
Of course, and I always say to people when it does come to the property side is a property just because it's in Dubai is not a sexy investment. people need to get that out of their head. It's been absolutely glorified that it's going to be super sexy and you're going to see the wildest. It's not. It's like watching paint dry, and it is as sexy as investing into an ISA, except you get higher returns, but they aren't guaranteed. Nothing is here and guaranteed. You can generate an organic growth if the economics, again, is correct. However, you cannot pluck these numbers from thin air, which is just wild. Did your time within the real estate market, do you think that's what's mentally grown your mind and given you the stability now to be able to open up all these businesses? You said you've got, what, 9?
I think it's 9 businesses at the moment. The main ones that make the most of the revenue, White & Co Real Estate will always be my baby. Yeah. That is just the number one, nothing bigger. SOA, that is our state of art, which is our construction, design, renovation company. And then on top of that, I have a hair salon called Sota. I have a meal prep company called Coles. I have a few other things on the go, White & Clayton Recruitment. There's a lot of things on the go. You'll notice all the businesses I just mentioned, they're all service businesses. Yeah. I don't do products. I'm not creative. I'm not creative, and I'm not imaginative. Okay. Yeah. I see that there's a lack of customer service in Dubai, and it always has been. And right now, if we can raise the bar on that, that's how you can create very simple value to clients. Mm-hmm. So many people are lackluster in what they do. They're not actually interested in giving people a good service. Just by giving people a good service, you're already 95% better than everyone else. Yeah, then add on having some knowledge, then add on actually bringing something to the table, having investments that no one else knows about, an investment plan. It's something that good brokerages are doing now. They're not just speaking to someone about buy this, they might be speaking to someone about when we sell this, here's what we're going to put your money into, here's your plan for the next 5 years, here's what we're going to pull out. And this is where good brokers are going to capitalise. Of course. Because they actually understand what they're doing.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. I always say, look at your end avatar. People are like, what? And I'm like, avatar.
They're sitting thinking about the film, Blue People.
But I've got a question. All your names are Sota, Clayton, White & Co. They're all very similar. Do they all stem from something?
No, my name, obviously if I could have my name on everything I would. It's very egotistical, but they're my businesses. And, they all fall under White & Co Group. But Sota is state of the art, so Sota Salon, state of the art salon. SOA is just state of art. And then when it comes down to that sort of stuff, White & Clayton is the person that runs that business for me. That's essentially my business partner within there. That's Jamie. And White & Co is obviously my name. And then the Co is the guys in there. Yes, which is obviously, I think it's something that as well, especially people often say to me, they go, what would it take for you to sell White & Co and stuff like that? I'm like, there's not enough money. My name's on the door. I couldn't have my name on the door of something and be ruined. Yeah. It's tough enough in Dubai to keep something going for a long time, and especially when it was a startup, not now, but I think that something that's that important to me, it's my legacy, if you will. And it's not about this, hand it down to the kids and stuff. I'm talking about while I'm alive, that's my legacy.
Do you know what? I think there's something that happens to entrepreneurs that they get addicted. It is their baby, it's their child, it's something they're growing, and especially when you put your name towards something, you see it as much more credible. And the hardest part about hiring someone when your name's above the board is ensuring that they see the same vision, because it's more personal. If you had just called it, let's say, I don't know, House in White, or not even House & Co or something, you'd have been like, okay, well, no one knows who I am, I can hide. But as soon as it's your name, you're like, whoa, let's take a step back. Are we reading from the same hymn book? And I think anyone I speak to that has their name above the door have the exact same problem, because it is such a baby to them.
But it's not a problem. It's an advantage, because you're so invested in it. And I think that a lot of the times as CEOs or as people at the top of the tree, whatever that position that might be, we sometimes go, we've made enough money, don't really need to be in the office today, or I don't really need to. See, last year I went on a lot of holidays, okay? I worked non-stop for the first 2 years of the business, and then I decided last year, I was like, I'm going to have some fun, I'm going to go on all these holidays. I was doing one-to-ones with my sales team, and some of them were genuinely like, Calum, you've not been in the office much this year, and we want you to be here more. And I was sitting there going, Jesus, right, okay, fair enough. So now I have no holidays. I've got the company holiday, which is for the top performers in April, and then other than that, I have 1 month where I'm going to take all my holidays in 1 month. So I was like, the rest of the year I'm here, because I took that serious. And whether that person watches this or not, actually it was a few of them, whether they watch this or not, I hear you loud and clear. And the business is only just coming into year 5 now. I don't need to be disappearing away doing something different. I love what we do. I just thought, I've deserved this, I've earned this, I can go and do this. But at the same time, I have so much fun in the office that I don't need to be doing something else. I really enjoy it.
I mean, do you know the thing is with holidays and how I look at them? The holidays give you the motivation and the drive to keep working, because when you're an entrepreneur in the industries you're in, your cup can get so full and you can kind of get enclosed in, because although it's growing at great speed and you're seeing the numbers, you lose the motivation. Because what is the point of just, yes, you're growing, it's your baby, you're having fun, but what's the point of just working until, like, there's so much more to life. So I always say to people, you have to take a holiday. And I think I've seen your Instagram on it, because it's something I really agree with, that you have to always take a holiday or a break every quarter. And you'll see such better effects on your sales, your mental health. You'll have so much more motivation and creativity if you can turn off. Whereas if you're always in this like state of I need to work, need to work, need to work, even if you think it's fun, you'll just start to plummet, and your cup overfills without even realising, and you become numb to everything. You're like, I don't actually know where I'm going. I'm doing the same thing, and it's weird. And it's something I've spoken to about a lot. And when I also think you can, especially within Dubai, there's so many crazy opportunities for holidays that you can actually go over there and network, and it can grow your business, and you can meet the right people. And we're in this opportunity because you're in Dubai and you have the expense to go to these crazy events, whether they're around Europe and all these wild diaries. And sometimes I say you have to speculate to accumulate.
Yeah.
So although it feels like a holiday, you're actually going there and networking. It takes your business to the next level. And it can be annoying, I guess. This is something I want your mention on. When the employee's like, well, you're not there, and be like, but I was you. I have done it. I'm now reaping the rewards.
You know what? First of all, I don't know. Right, we'll break that 2 parts because I've got a question. Do you actually think that going away and doing networking somewhere, like, I don't think there's a meeting I could go to on this planet where I could go in there and it's actually going to increase our business, as in White & Co, by 5%?
I mean, how I look at it, right now there's Morzine Polo Calendar, the polo event in Morzine. If you look at the calibre of people there, the business owners, founders, angel investors. The week before, there was another event in Switzerland. If you can take an opportunity to take 3 days there, 4 days there, I think the conversations you'll have with people, because the people within those networks and within those bubbles are very big on collaboration. They're happy to share. And I've interviewed many people on this podcast that business have grown at an exceptional speed because they've met someone that's like, oh, by the way, I integrated this into my business. I done this. Here's the contact for it, because they're very open-minded. So if you can go to some of these calendar events, and although they might not come be buying off you, they might give you a
buyer or a friend
buyer,
of a friend or
a seller. They might give you a trick, being like, I actually own a real estate in LA or London, that will be like, oh, I never thought of that. Because in Dubai, we can become so into our own bubble that we think we are the best, that we are very innovative, we are very exclusive, but it's sometimes good to go back to these people that have maybe done it in different countries and have that creative mind, so you're ahead of the market, or you have another way of looking at it. And that's why I think when people spend these monies, and it was a billionaire that told me this, and he gave me, and I was like, that's actually one of the most, and I had run by it. This was 4 years ago. I met him in Dubai, and whenever he told me that, I was like, that makes so much sense. And he was like, yeah, I go to all these events because I enjoy them and I have fun, but every time I go to the event, I seem to have creative ideas, or I meet someone that adds to my network that's been able to have a new business venture, we've done it together, or he's given me advice, and now they all just become friends. And I guess if you're hanging around with these people, they say you become one of them, or you become a 1% better, whatever you want to say. So now I honestly, if I can go to some of these events, I'd always try and go, because I think
it's a good thing, definitely, for some people. I mean, yeah. There's good parts in what you said there, just having to think about it, yeah.
It's different. I guess it can be quite endearing and about, but what? But then I do think when this guy told me and broke it down, I was like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Because you could go on one of these random holidays and have a great time, and you've spent a fucking fortune, and it's like, you come back a bit fucked. I'm so hungover. Yeah. I'm knackered. I'm not like. Do you meet someone and you want to run a marathon after meeting them?
Yeah.
That's the type of people that I kind of like to meet when I'm on holiday. Whether it's only for a day, whether it's only for a half an hour. But sometimes when you and other people, it might just only be me. When you go on holiday, you come back, I'm fucked. I need a holiday after the holiday. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's a good split to have those types of holidays, and it's just something I've been taught.
No, fair enough. I like it. I love it. Yeah, people don't really care about you as a boss, and if you had to go through it, like, no one cares. Like, no one's sitting in your office going like, oh, but he went through it, so like now we need to. At the end of the day, all people do is they sit at the and if anyone wants to say, oh no, they don't sit and do that, they sit looking at that board, they see what's on there, and if you're on 50%, they assume 50% goes back in my pocket, and if you're on 70%, they sit there going, oh well, he must be taking 30%. Even though obviously there's overheads, there's risks, there's all that sort of stuff that we talk about. No one cares. Yeah. So as a manager, as a boss, and I do think that when I am there is a difference. Mm-hmm. Like I can tell there is, and I've watched so many podcasts, and we did a podcast in the UK, and his last question was that he always asks the person is, do you think you make a difference to your business? Mm-hmm. And every single person said, no, I don't think so. I think I'd be taking stuff, like my response was, I think I'd take stuff away from my team if I said I did make a difference. I don't think I do. And then to sit and hear like some of my top performers saying to me, I'd like you to be here more because it's different when you're here. I'm like, yeah, maybe I do need to listen to that. So, you know, the big point is I want to take more holidays. I enjoy it, but at the same time, you have to find a good balance. Yeah, because that year it was basically I was like, right, if I've had 2 years of no holidays, I'm taking all the holidays I want. But then I was like, you know, I ended up being away almost once a month. I'm telling you,
you got it.
It was, yeah. I was like, oh, I'll try here, I'll go here. That was
crazy. What's been your biggest? Actually, I'm going to ask this after. I've seen that you've just hired a wellness officer.
No, we hired that person February last year.
February last year, so the happiness officer. Okay. This is something I'm really interested in because I'm seeing it as being a huge drive, I think, in 2025 for all businesses. And I read a statistic that if you put money into your business to keep the wellness and happiness, your medical bill will reduce by 300%. Something crazy, okay? Why do you think now we have to focus on bringing such a happiness officer, mental well-being officer into companies, especially real estate in Dubai?
Yeah, I'll give you the non-political answers because it's not simple as this. I don't want people coming to me crying and moaning. Like as simple as that. She sits for 8 hours a day, meeting after meeting after meeting, helping these people talk through things that I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear about, oh, I'm behind on rent and my life's so hard. I moved to Dubai as well. I paid for everything. I did it the same way. Winners win, losers lose. But I can't exactly turn around to people and say that, can I?
Of course.
So, and I don't mind anyone saying this. Like I'd say that, like this is Hannah's job, and then on top of that, like we've had that health chat going as well. We have a White & Co health chat, and that's been going since I think it was January the 3rd last year or something like that. And like, it's just things that we just try and do, but we're not, it shouldn't take the company to push, well, our company, it doesn't take us to push going doing stuff. Like every Wednesday morning, there's 50 people that go play paddle because one of our directors is obsessed with paddle. And that's been going on for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like they do Pilates, they do this, they do that. Between 400 people, that health chat has 220. So there's 180 that don't want to do anything. But there's 220 that in the mornings, like you wake up, Rishan put a message in there this morning, 5 a.m, saying that he's put a bet on that if anyone can burn more calories than him over, I can't remember the time difference that he said, like he said over this amount of time, if anyone beats me, then I'll pay for your gym membership at our gym's quite expensive. He was like, I'll pay for your gym membership for the year. And then you've got all these people that right now are still in their infancy of real estate, and when, like, you know, 10,000 dirhams expensive for a gym membership, they're sitting going like, for your gym membership I'll get involved. So on one side, like Hannah's whole job, the non-political answer, not to give you some like airy-fairy, like, oh, we just brought her in because we want everyone. It's very simple. There are people that have conversations that I am not good with. And my time is better spent helping people make money. My managing director's time is better spent helping people make money. Most of my director's time is better spent doing that. It's not to be sitting having sob story conversations for 2 hours, 3 hours at a time. Hannah takes the brunt of that because that's what her background is, that's what her qualifications are. And I love the fact that she does it because I couldn't do it. We've all got different skills. Listen, I can sell, I can build businesses. I can't sit pretending, oh yeah, I feel so sorry for you.
You're like me. I'm very like, get on with it. And I think it's just how you've been brought up.
Oh, of course.
Like, and I would love to be more sympathetic. I would, but I'm not.
Hey, listen.
I'm like, fit in or fuck off. Just keep going.
But I love that. And it's funny because it's like, it's something that I noticed we needed, and that team's going to grow. We've got 400 people right now. It's going to grow to more than that, and I'm going to need to build that team out. And it's going to be, like we had someone in yesterday, and it was something to do with fitness. That person had actually approached us. She sent me a message on Instagram, and she came in, because I didn't really understand what she wanted to do, but she was like, basically my entire life's been in fitness, and I'm trying to work out how to incorporate that, but I'm also like, there's not a full-time position for someone to be in my business when during the day, those 9 hours, you're not going to be doing anything. Everyone's going to be working, so what are you going to be doing that's to fitness? I was like, can you do boot camps? Can you do... Anyway, it's good that people are seeing this, but I don't want everyone to just start going like, oh, we need to do it when you've got the right spot. Do it. Don't just try and jump on it because someone else has done it. Like, just see when your time's right and do that.
Because, you know, the thing I've been really interested in is Google obviously started this years and years ago. The Google offices had like meditation pods and done fitness classes, and as you said, they only lasted a year, but they did offer them because it was such a high intensity role. But now what we're seeing a lot more in Dubai, within the real estate, within your big companies here, is there's a massive push on well-being. And I think the reason I was asking is Do you think you're seeing a shift in the mental health of people when they come into these commission-only roles? And do you think people are now pushing away from drinking as much in Dubai, so they're wanting to have that community feel? And I guess if they're new to Dubai, it's great to be able to build a community within the workplace.
There are lots of little communities. You've got to, obviously, between the 400 people, like they've all got like there's
bigger than my school.
Yeah, they've got like, let's say they're in groups of 20s or 30s or 40s. They've all got their little communities, and like one group will go hiking on a Sunday. The other group want to go out and get drunk. Go enjoy yourself. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Right now we're in a good phase because it's bloody New Year and everyone's doing 75 hard, or they're doing 3 months. But this is the whole thing. This is why we're trying to keep it more than just 3 months. We're trying to make it more. Listen, real estate's a lifestyle. Make your health a lifestyle. Make your business a lifestyle. I break my life into 5 pillars, right? It's really silly, but I go your health, your wealth, your career, your friendships, and your relationship. There's one of those in there that you can control and don't need anyone else to do, and that is your health. You can go to the gym, it's only you. Your wealth, you have to talk about business, you have to talk about company, how well are you doing, are people buying, whatever else. Your career, that involves other people. Your friendships involves other people. Your relationship involves someone else. Yeah. The one thing that you can control, and I promise you that if you increase your fitness, whether that's mental fitness, whether that's your physical fitness, you name it, spiritual, if you're into that sort of stuff, cool. But if you increase that, the other 4 pillars go better as well. Yeah. You do better at work, you're full of energy, you're not sitting having a 2 o'clock slump where you're falling asleep. You're sitting there, you're full of beans, as we say in Scotland.
Yeah, legit. Honestly, I think it's huge, and I think especially this year, from every area, people are really, really trying to focus on it, especially in Dubai, which used to be seen as this big party place. And I think it is still a party place, but I think we're starting to see more and more people go within the wellness side, and I keep making jokes, it's turning into LA.
Yeah.
In LA,
I love it. You know, everyone's just having matches and doing Pilates.
Yeah, genuinely, go to Kite Beach, and it's like trying to fiddle around people. Like, how many people can be fit on one beach?
But I love it, because that'll be the next complaint. First of all, there's too many people here at a party. Now it's everyone just comes here to get fit. But you know what it's like? People move to Dubai, they have their first year where they survive, and then year 2, 3, 4, so on, they thrive. Yeah. Year 1, listen, people get distracted, especially, I don't know about your company, but essentially our business, we hire people that are average age is 25 years old. You move to Dubai, you see the bright lights, you see what you can go out and do, you pay £100 for 5 hours of all you can eat, all you can drink. These guys are like, yeah, let's do it. But if we can find a good contrast of that, which is also the health and fitness, who are we to tell you not? Of
course, of course. And what's been your biggest mental challenge in the time you've been in Dubai?
In the time I've been in Dubai? Yeah, I would say the hardest issue that I have had, and this is the biggest lesson that I've had over the entire 4 years, over the entire 10 years of Dubai. I went to a seminar in America last year to LA. When the company was 40 people, naturally, it doesn't matter what business you are, you will always have 20 to 25% that underperform. Yeah. Doesn't matter what business it is, there will always be. And I said, listen, when we had 40 people, that's only 10 people underperforming. I can deal with that. If we're at 400 people and I've got 100 people underperforming, I can't sleep at night. Like, I care too much. My name's on the wall. And I sat with these 2 people who are billionaires, or, you know, very close to it, who are way more money than me, way more businesses than me, been doing it longer than me, and they deal with sales teams and companies that are between 20 people and 20,000 people. Yeah. So, you know, they know more than me. And I was waiting on this answer that I was going to be like, oh my God, they fixed everything. And all they said to me was, don't worry about it. Focus on the people that are going to do well. Winners win, losers lose. Yeah. And I was like, if they've said it, like, what am I going to do? Like, you know, of course. Because I'd hired all these new trainers and I'd done all that, and I went, right, we're going to aim all of our training at these underperformers so we can help them. But then you realise that out of every 10 to 20 people that are underperforming, one of them, a switch flicks and they become really good. The other 19, they don't last. It's simple. They're not made for it. They're not built for it. It's not going to happen. And I'm not talking about they've had a bad month. Yeah. I'm talking about that agent that's sitting there, still that isn't picking up listings very well, still scared to get on the phone. Yeah. You've given them all the training, the same training as everyone else in the business has, and they still can't do it. And I suppose that's a big thing for me now, is some people say, how do you deal with people failing? If I know that we've done everything as we should, and now the evidence suggests that works, it's your fault. Yeah. There's nothing you can say to me. No one can come into my office, and if I know that they've had all the training and all the help and they've got everything that everyone else has had, and go, oh yeah, but you guys didn't give me, I know that we've done what we need to do. Yeah. It's now on you, and you don't have what it takes, and that's that. And listen, sometimes that person might go to another company and do well. Yeah. Sometimes they might not. I wish them all the best. They're just not right for our business.
Yeah, of course. And do you know the thing is, as I said, fit on or fuck off. And I think a lot of people need to take more responsibility in every area of their life if they are thinking of going into a commission-only role. Because at the end of the day, they are just working at White & Co. But it could be Dubai Jord. Dubai Jord's not really known for White & Co. Dubai Jord. I don't even know Dubai Jord. But I just know him as Dubai Jord from One Pam because of the sale speaks for himself. But I'm sure when he was at the start of his journey, he was not really known as anyone. But he put the work in, put in the reps, put in the hours. And it's statistically proven if you work 100 hours in a week, you will always be the best. Doesn't matter. And it's a lot of people, I think, come to Dubai and they think they can run before they walk. And they think that they're going to come here, land a deal, and fair enough, maybe 1 in 100 it does happen, and thank God it does because it's amazing and I want the best success for everyone. But everyone else, it's the reps. It's the reps that count, it's the showing up. And I've made jokes this week, I've been like, I feel suicidal, I don't want to be here, I just want to work. Not in that way, just that I can't be bothered picking up the phone and continuing to have the camera on my face and continue, because I feel like sometimes you feel like you're getting nowhere. But it's the discipline and it's the showing up and you're just like, right, because it's those small reps when you don't want to do it, is like the building platform, 100%.
And this is the thing, is one of the biggest mistakes people always ask me, what's the biggest mistake for a new broker? Yeah. They try jumping in and selling things that are 20 million, 25 million, and I'm sitting there going, you understand this person has £5 million they've spent on this property, which means that in their account they've got £50 million, and you think that you know more than them. Like, why don't we start with something that's between 2 and 4 million? Let's start selling the apartments or the cheaper stuff, and then do your reps. Because you didn't walk into the gym on day one and do 100 kg bench press, did you? No, you start at 20, then we go 25, then we go. But, and you know what? Something like that's just happened in our business. We had someone start in December. They've just put a very notable figure on the board, which...
Is this the rental one?
No, that's Stacey. She's been with us for a long time. So this guy, he came into sales, he went into Maidan, he sold a plot. And it's notable for a new broker, for us, it's about 500, 600k on the board. But yet he's not sitting there going, now I work on plots, now I work on villas. He went, now back to the grind, back to what I was doing, because he found this plot and this buyer and everything by doing that. And he's like, I'm just going to go back to that and focus on my reps. And I'm sitting there going, this guy is listening, thank God. Yeah. And then you get the other people that are sitting there right now. I've already had people who have never done a deal in the business asking if they can go into the PAM team. And I'm just sitting going like, let's just focus where we are, you know.
And it's one of these things that's keeping accountability, because within any of your businesses, and I'm sure the hairdressers are the same, the recruiters are the same, and the real estate brokers, they're all on commission only. So how do you get someone sitting in your seat in hairdressing? You have to go out, you have to socialise, I'm really good, come in, and you're like, why am I giving all these haircuts? Like, what? I'm on commission only. But again, it's like I'm going to have to put in 6 months to get my diary full to then start making money. And it's like being a real estate broker. I say to everyone, it's going to take you 6 months to a year to really get in the door, because you could sit and have conversation after conversation and they'll be like, but you've been in the market 6 months. Yeah. What do you know? And it is back down to saying it's getting up, it's getting out, and starting again and doing the same thing over and over and over again. On that, how do you think the training from when you first started opening White & Co has expanded or formed over the years? Because I think it's such a pinnacle point of any business now is training. And I think a lot of people maybe think they're too good to go to it, or maybe think they're like, I don't know. But how do you think you've implemented training to get to people where they are?
We've got some fun training ways. So first of all, as a new broker, we'll split into new and then we'll split into experience. So a new broker joins the business, they have 2 weeks classroom style training. Yeah. Week 1, theory, you're learning, you understand this sort of stuff, you're like, right, I'm starting to get okay. And then before we release you onto the floor, where you're going to be sitting beside, someone beside you has built 2.5 million, the person beside you has been there for 4 years and they know what they're talking about, and you're scared because you're about to jump on the phones. Another controlled environment where we jump on the phones in there and we hear those initial calls. It's just the 2 training managers. So we had 1, now there's 2, and anyone that's going into leasing, they go on one side, anyone that's going into sales goes on the other side, manager for you guys, as in training managers. And then between that, it's a case of them like a shark, just going round in circles, sniffing blood, who's doing this, who's doing that, do you need help with anything, what did they say, okay, here's what you do next time, okay, what have they asked, and it's doing that, and it's getting them to do the reps for that week. So essentially, that's where we've changed the training from what it used to be. I mean, I did the training for the first 6 months. Then we had a training manager. Then we did... It's just grown arms and legs. We've got a full training room now, which is specifically... It's just set out like a classroom, but it's probably the size of most brokerages, our training room. And then on top of that, when it comes down to experienced brokers, so we break it down into billables. So for us, if you are in the lower category, which is anyone below 100k, okay, if you're average, is below 100k. So if you do below 1.2 million a year, this is you're in the lower category. Second category, is between 100 and 165. That's your second category. That's where we see sort of an average to good broker sitting, which means that you'll take home 1.8 million to 2 million a year. And then everyone else is in the top team. So essentially the first two tiers, they have a lot more speaking at them, because really you aren't at the level yet where you need to be telling us what you guys do. It's more a case of here's your closing techniques, and we have modules that we've built. So it's an online course that I built, but then the guys have built upon. So the training managers are built upon. So you might start with just the simple stuff, as in qualifying, what are you asking? Just reminders on everything. So you might get through 10 weeks of training once a week, and then you get into some tasty stuff, a bit more advanced, the closing 1 to 10, hard close, so you name it. And then for the more experienced guys, it's a lot more collaborative. It's talking about real life situations. So example, when you're sitting in a room with Dubai Jord, Blue Waters Jay, Gina, Rose Blemons, you name it, all these brokers that are doing a minimum of 3.5 million a year, when you're sitting in with them, they're making serious money. Yeah. So, at the same time, some of us, and I'm not going to kid you on here, sometimes I hear them say something, I go, oh, that's quite good. Yeah. And it's really good because these guys are still in the field. Mm-hmm. I've not been a broker for the best part of 6 years. Yeah. Okay, company opened 4 years, but I ran another business before that. These guys are in the field every single day, trudging on, working hard, actually dealing with real life situations. So someone will say, oh, I had this issue. How do you think I should have played it? Here's what I did. And then next thing you know, you've got another amazing broker who turns around and goes, oh, well, what I would have done in this situation. And then another person says this. And then obviously we go, right, there's a few different angles. Yeah. I think this one was really good. Here's one here. And what I would maybe do is this. And then between them all, they can work out what works. Because also it has to suit your style. Yeah. The way that Jordan does business is very different from the way Camilla does business. Yeah. One is very soft, one is a bull in a china shop. They both can get results, but it's just a completely different way. Yeah.
And what do you find is when you're doing the hiring process, I guess you're not doing it as much, but what have you seen is the attributes for anyone that's thinking of coming to Dubai and becoming a real estate broker? What are the attributes you've seen in your most successful brokers when they came into the door to now becoming? Is there a commonality or? Well,
it was actually really annoying because I did a training the other day and I pulled in everyone who joined us, the last 3 groups that joined us. Right. And I put all the brokers who are our top on the board. And then it was like on the system, I hid what their job was. And I asked each of them, like, what do you think his job was? And they're like, oh, I don't know, were they in real estate? Car sales. What about this person? Were they in real estate? Used to be a butcher. Were they in real estate? Used to work in a cheese factory. And it was to show these guys that some people might be sitting in here looking up the board and going, I can never get there. These guys have got all this stuff I've not got. They all come from backgrounds like you guys that have nothing special going on. But talking about personality-wise, competitive, grit. They don't get disheartened easily. They're not negative. They don't make excuses. My best brokers, they turn up late. They go to me, Cal, sorry I'm late. I go, no problem, mate. Let's get on with it. Yeah. The people that are low performers turn up and they give me some story about how their dog ate their shoes and whatever else. Because they think that they're still living in that world, that childish world. Whereas the top performers, they just know that we've got that level of respect. We just get on with it. Yeah. And we're not going to treat you like a child. Let's just get on with it.
I think it's going back to, I think anyone that is thinking of getting a real estate career, because that's mainly what we've spoken about, is you need to have grit, determination, and a non-give up.
Grit is the number one thing. Like that is if someone said to me, like, what is the number one defining factor for a broker to be good? Grit. And if that you don't understand what that means, it means that when you've just had a deal fall through, you're not sitting walking around the room going, oh, my deal fell through. You come back to the office with a bit of anger and you go, I'm going to get on that phone and make another deal happen. Because wallowing leads to thinking. Anger leads to action. Yeah. And people just sit in the office, oh, sad, this happened to me. Winners, they go on to the next one. Yeah. That's what I think.
I think that's it, the commonality in anyone that is good. It's just, right, next one. And any big business person, it's what you said, I think, before when you said, if I make a bad decision, I just go, put my hands up, I made a bad decision, let's change it. And it's not getting the whole build up, because I think when your mental clarity leaves you because of bad thoughts, because of your chimp, because of that person, everything goes to shit. And you end up doing, instead of having like an hour or 2 hours, it's like turns into a day, which turns into a weekend, which then turns into a week, and then it's the end of the month. Because Dubai time, I don't know what happens.
Honestly, I've been here 10 years, it feels like 3, honestly. It really does.
It's crazy. But thank you so much for coming on. It's been great to hear about your full journey and everything. And I really cannot wait to see how far you come in the next 10 years.
Thank you so much.